We are going to start today in a comfortable seat. Bring your hands to your knees or up in heart center. And just start focusing on your breathing. Try to make your inhales and your exhales of equal length. And it doesn't really matter if it's for a count of 2 or 4 or 6 or 8, whatever feels comfortable in your body today. Take one more deep breath. And when you're ready, start to flutter your eyes open. Reach your left fingertips all the way to the side and down to the floor. Pull through your finger pads and let your right ear drop a little bit closer towards your right shoulder. So we're getting a big stretch in the left side of the neck. And just breathe into that space. Start to come back up through center. Let's switch sides. Take the right fingertips out. Bring them all the way down, and then left ear can come closer to the left shoulder. One more breath here. And then come back up into center. Tuck the chin under and try to imagine that you're pressing the back of your head into the back wall. Give yourself as many chins as you possibly can. And then come back to a neutral spine, shake it out a little bit. Let's do a couple big rolls of the neck. So make big circles. Let's go 2 times in each direction. Stopping and holding anywhere that needs a little bit of extra time or space. And then come back into neutral. Bring your feet together. So we're coming into butterfly. And from here, you can lean forward into the hips a little bit, or you can tend your fingertips behind you and create a really straight spine and push the chest out. Or you can spend a few breaths in one and then a few breaths in the other. Gentle back bend, and then leaning forward, letting everything get heavy. When you're ready, start to come back up to a neutral spine, cross the ankles, and just roll up over the ankles until you can come into our tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Tuck the toes. We're going to alternate back and forth, just rocking from stretching out the feet and then up over the wrists. Warming up both as we rock back and forth. Then come back into neutral, untuck the toes, tap the tops of the feet down onto the mat. Sit back onto your heels. We're going to bring the backs of the hands down and just lean back enough that you start to feel a big stretch in your forearms. Take one more breath. And then roll up, start to make big circles with the wrists. Lean forward, come up onto your hands, make some circles with the ankles. Come back down. Let's start to warm up the spine. So we'll go through a few cat-cows. Let's do some reverse breath cat-cows. So on your inhale, we're going to round out the back, push it towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, let the chin and the tailbone come up, look up. Go 2 more times like this. It might be kind of hard at first if you're used to matching your inhale with your cow instead of cat, which most of us are. So it might be a little bit of a brain buster. Last one. And then come back into neutral. Let's bring the hands a little bit farther up and wide. Bring the knees together and a little bit farther back. We're going to start making big barrel roll type circles with the hips. Go 2 times in one direction, switch 2 times in the other. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to make our way into our first downward dog, but keep a big bend at the knee. So try to bring your chest, your stomach down onto your knees at first, and then you can start to pedal out the feet, straighten the legs, whenever your hamstrings and your calves start to feel ready to do so. And this might take a lot of pedaling at first, but whenever you feel like your calves and your hamstrings are getting warm, start to try and find some stillness, sink into your downward dog, take 2 breaths. Start to tiptoe to the top of your mat and fold all the way forward when you get there. On your next inhale, begin to roll the spine up slowly to stand. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. When you get to the top, take a big exhale. Close down the eyes just for a second. And just sway a few times back and forth from your right foot to your left foot. And then come into center. Go back and forth a few times from your toes to your heels. Just bring a bit more awareness to the feet. When you're ready, come back to natural balance. Open up the eyes. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, look up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, come up halfway. And exhale, bring the hand to the mat. Take the right foot all the way back behind you. So we're in our lunge. Let's leave the right hand down. Open up the left hand, bring it to the ceiling. So we're twisting to the left. Start to rotate back to face your mat. Bring the left hand down. Take the left foot back beside the right. So we're in plank. Hold here. And then we're going to bring the right hand into center. Stack the left foot on top of the right or right beside each other. Come into a side plank. Left arm goes back up to the ceiling. So feet can be stacked or beside each other if you want a little bit more balance. Take one more breath here, working on our shoulder stability and our ab strength. And then start to rotate back, land in a plank. Bring the knees down, lower all the way to the front of the body. Bring the hands just slightly out in front. Pull through the finger pads on your next inhale and loop the shoulders up and back for cobra. And release back down on your exhale. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, release. Bring your hands back under your shoulders right away. Push up through tabletop. Bring the knees a little bit wide and come into your child's pose. So you can reach the arms forward. You can bring them down by your sides. Bring your forehead down all the way to your mat. And just rock your head gently side to side a few times. Take one more breath. And if your hands are down by your sides, bring them back up in front of you. Come into tabletop, and then lift the hips, come into your downward dog. Walk the feet to the top of your mat, fold forward. And roll the spine up to stand on your next inhale. Loop the shoulders up and back when you get there. Big exhale at the top. And then inhale, bring the arms back overhead, look up. Exhale, dive forward and fold. Come up halfway, hands to shins, and then release the hands down. Take the left foot back behind you. In our lunge legs, leave the left hand on the mat, inhale the right arm all the way up, twisting towards the right. One more breath. And then start to bring the right hand back down. Take the right foot beside the left, hold your plank. And then bring the left hand closer into center. Stack the feet or bring one right beside each other. Lift the right arm up, come into your side plank. Focus on your breathing. This is a challenging pose. Take one more breath. And then start turning the hips back towards the mat. Land in your plank. Bring the knees down, lower all the way. We're going to bring the hands out in front again, but this time you can tent your fingertips if you want to try and get up a little bit higher. So as long as it feels okay in your low back, on your next inhale, lift up, go a little bit higher than your regular cobra. And then come back down on the exhale. Bring the hands under the shoulders. We're going to push up back into plank and now move through a vinyasa. So you're going to go through either bringing the knees down and your cobra like we just did, or you can go through a chaturanga push-up. Shift forward into your upward facing dog, making sure that the shoulders and the ears are as far away apart as you can make them, and then shift the hips all the way up and back. We're all going to be in our downward facing dog here. Take 2 breaths. Start to bring the feet a little bit closer together. Take the right foot up into the air behind you. Bend the knee, open up the hip to the side wall. You can make a few knee circles. If you want to try and get some cracks out of the hip. When you're ready, start to shift forward. Place the right foot between the hands at the top of the mat. Lift up all the way, high lunge. And then pivot on the back foot, come into your warrior 2. We're going to start to straighten the front leg. Bring your hand to your shin, come into triangle. So left hand comes up overhead. And then use your core, lift through your warrior 2 into exalted warrior. Right hand comes up over top. Come back into your warrior 2. Hold here, take a breath. And we're going to work on a little bit of balance. This is going to be another fairly challenging pose. But from here, you're going to bounce up off the back foot. We're going to come into half moon. So if you have a foam roller or something that you can put at the top of your mat to help you balance, that might be a good thing here. But when you're ready, we're going to bounce off the back foot, facing the side wall. Try to pick a single point of focus on the wall that'll help you balance a lot, or having something under this hand. You probably will fall out of it. That's okay. Just come right back up. Take one more breath. And then reach the left foot back again. Land back into your warrior 2. Look over the right fingertips. Cartwheel the hands to frame the right foot. Take the right foot back beside the left. Hold your plank. And move through a vinyasa of your choice. Landing in downward dog. When you get to your down dog, take 2 breaths. And then bring the feet a little closer together. Take the left foot up into the air behind you. Bend the knee, open the hip to the side. Make your hip circles, big circles with the knee. And then shift forward, place the left foot between the hands at the top of the mat. Lift up into your high lunge. Center yourself here, and then pivot on the back foot. Land in your warrior 2. Start to straighten the front leg. Bring your hand to your shin, come into triangle. Right arm goes up and over. And then use your core. Lift up through warrior 2 into exalted warrior. Left arm goes up overhead. Come back into warrior 2. Take a breath. And we're going to come into balancing on this side. So bounce up off the right foot, coming into half moon. Bringing your hand down to your foam roller, your stack of books, whatever you have to help your balancing. Or finding that single point of focus on the side wall. And just paying attention to how much your ankle is working here, trying to find some stability. One more breath. And then reach the right foot all the way back, land back into your warrior 2, look over the left fingertips, come back to your breathing. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the left foot, take the left foot beside the right, hold your plank, and then move through a vinyasa of your choice. Landing back in our downward dog. Pedal out the feet one more time. Take 2 breaths here. Try to make it feel like a restful pose. And then bring the knees down, sit the hips all the way back, come into child's pose. Bring the forehead down, let the neck relax. From here, you can start to roll all the way up, come into a tall kneeling position. And then we're going to bring our hands as if we were putting them into our back pockets. From here, just try to bring the elbows to touch behind you. And that will bring you into a gentle back bend. You can look up and let the chin come up if you want to, if that feels good in the neck. One more breath. Come back to a neutral spine. We're going to take that a little bit deeper. So 2 options. You can either interlace the hands behind you and pull down with the hands opening up through the chest, or you can tuck your toes under and come into camel, which means that you are doing that same back bending position, but now you're reaching for your heels. And you can let the head come back here if that doesn't bother your neck. So either one of those 2 back bends. And take 1 more breath. Release, come back to a neutral spine. Cross the ankles behind you and just sit back. Take your legs out in front. Give your legs a bit of a shake. And then we're going to cross the right foot over the left knee. Tent the right fingertips behind you. We're going to twist towards the right. So inhale, the left arm all the way up. And then cross either the elbow over if you're that flexible. I don't feel that flexible right now, so I'm just going to grab onto my right knee and use that to help me twist towards the right. You don't want to force anything, so that'll lead to tweaks and twinges in your lower back. So only go as far as your core will allow you to go. One more breath here. And then rotate back into center. Take both legs long, give them a shake. Cross the left foot over the right knee. Tent the left fingertips. Inhale the right arm all the way up. And then cross it over, whatever you did on the other side, twist towards the left. Start to release, come back into center. We're going to move into Shavasana, our final resting pose. If there's anything else your body needs right now, go ahead and do that. So we can head into Shavasana, or you can go into legs of the wall. Either one of those is a great place to end your practice. And just start to close down the eyes, let the breath come back to normal, natural breathing. You don't have to think about it too much. Roll the shoulders underneath the back. So your heart is still open and up towards the ceiling. And then just let your practice settle in. Let the mind go where it goes. Start to bring your hands to your belly. Take one more deep breath. Send all your breath as low as you can. Feel your belly rise and fall. And then start to shuffle your feet closer in towards you. Roll over to one side. And make your way back up to your comfortable seat. Let's bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Take a big breath in through the nose. Audible breath out. Thanks so much for practicing with me today. Hope to see you here again next week. Have an amazing rest of your day, and namaste to you all.
All right.